My grandfather Chester said one word to me when I was 8 years old. I didn't understand what he meant that day. I didn't understand at 20 either, or at 50. At 82 on a winter night after I lost my wife, sitting there in front of the television, that word came back to me. One word, kindling. Chester didn't talk much, maybe 50, 100 words a week if you were keeping count. And when he did speak, he never explained himself. He'd drop a sentence and go back to work. The rest was up to you. It was 76 years ago. Chester was out in the yard that day, stacking wood. I was standing next to him, 8 years old, a kid who didn't know what to do with his hands. He stopped, wiped his hands on his pants, looked at me. Big log don't catch on its own, Archie. He paused for a second. You let it go, it dies. Then he turned around, went back to work. I nodded, acted like I understood. But I didn't, because I hadn't watched anything truly go out. Not until I was 82. When I lost my wife, Ruth, I didn't just lose her. I lost the only way I knew how to live. The house was the same house. The chair, the television, everything was the same. Even the sound the refrigerator made. But when I got out of bed in the morning, there was nowhere I needed to be. Every morning I'd sit in that kitchen, drink my coffee, listen to the quiet. Karen called every Sunday. Good girl. How are you, Dad? Fine. Phone would go down. I'd go back to the same chair. That conversation, the one that made you forget, just for a few minutes, how alone you were. Then the calls got fewer. She has her own life. That's the way it should be. But at 82, alone in that quiet house on Thanksgiving, the way it should be doesn't keep you warm. What I couldn't see, what I wouldn't see, was that I was disappearing. The TV was on, but I wasn't watching. The clock moved, but the day didn't go anywhere. A person can disappear like that, without a sound. At first I called it resting, then I blamed the cold. February in Ohio is like that. Then I called it adjusting, then routine, but all of it was a lie. The truth was, I didn't know where I was going, or why. One night, December, the screen dark, the house quiet. I turned off the television, and Chester came back. Kindling. This time the word felt different, like a warning, but I still didn't fully know what he meant. I just knew one thing. Something was going out, and I was sitting there watching it happen. The next morning, nothing changed. The house was still quiet. Ruth was still gone. I was still in the same chair. But that word just kept coming back. Kindling. I didn't go outside that day, or the next. On the third day, I stood at the front door. My hand was on the knob. It was cold. My knee was acting up. I told myself, I'd do it tomorrow. I promise. I shut the door, and that's when I understood. It wasn't the weather. It wasn't my knee. I just didn't have anywhere I needed to be. And if a man doesn't have somewhere he needs to be, he doesn't go. That night, sitting in front of the television, a small, uncomfortable thought crossed my mind. Maybe Chester was wrong. Maybe some things really do go out and don't come back. If that was true, it was a scary thought, because there was nothing you could do about it. The next morning, I woke up early again. I just did one thing. I opened the door and kept the promise I'd made to myself. Walked to the end of the road, then came back. That was it. When I got home, no miracle had happened. Ruth hadn't come back. I could still hear the refrigerator humming. But then I did something different. That day, I didn't turn on the television. The next day, I walked to the corner. Third day, I made it around the block. A week later, one morning, I woke up and just didn't want to do it. I was worn out, felt pointless. I didn't go out that day. And by evening, that same emptiness was back. That's when it hit me. It wasn't about the walking. It wasn't about getting outside. It was about not letting go. The next morning, I went out again. 6 weeks later, I was walking 45 minutes. Lost some weight. Wasn't trying to get in shape, so the weight didn't matter to me. Now there's something uncomfortable I want to say. After Ruth died, I stopped dealing with the finances. Bills piled up on the counter. I didn't open them. Statement after statement. What's the point, I thought? What does any of this matter? That's a dangerous place to be, because the moment you stop paying attention, you start depending on other people. And when you're in your 80s, depending on other people only means one thing. You lose the last thing you've got left, your independence. After that, I sat down and looked at everything, where I actually stood, what I actually needed. It wasn't easy, but by the end of that afternoon, I knew exactly where I was, made a few adjustments, got a handle on things again. Control is a strange thing. When you've got it, you don't think about it. When it's gone, it feels like you've lost a limb. One day I came back from my walk and sat in the car, picked up the phone, and I did something I hadn't planned. Didn't even think about it. It just happened. I called Dennis, an old buddy from work. No real reason. We talked for an hour and a half. Nothing much, but it was the first time in a long while that I hadn't watched the clock while talking to somebody. I'd forgotten what that felt like. And in that moment, I heard the second half of Chester's sentence. You let it go, it dies. Until that day, I'd always remembered the first part, the big log. But the big log wasn't the point. The point was putting in the small one every single day. The walk wasn't big. The phone call wasn't big. Opening the bills wasn't big. But when I didn't do them, something really did go out. And for the first time I understood, when Ruth died, I hadn't died. I had just stopped feeding the fire. When Ruth was alive, I never kept up with friendships. She did. She was the one who remembered birthdays, who checked in on people. The warmth that held everyone together, that was her. Without her, I was standing in an empty room, wondering where everybody went. Just wondering. Chester hadn't taught me how to build a fire. He'd taught me how not to let it go out. I'm 84 now. My knee still gives me trouble. Some nights I get 5 hours of sleep. Some mornings I don't want to go out. But I go anyway, because now I recognize it. When something starts to go out, when my daughter calls on Sundays, I don't just say fine and move on anymore. I tell her what Dennis and I talked about last week, which bill I finally took care of, which old photograph I dug up. Small things, nothing big. But if small things can still be talked about, it means they're still burning. That's how I ended up turning on the camera and talking too. Wasn't some big plan. I don't know if anybody will watch. Doesn't matter. What matters is this. When I talk, I realize there's still something in me that has things to say. Something that isn't finished yet. That feeling, small, stubborn, doesn't make a whole lot of sense. That was the kindling I'd been looking for. Chester died when I was 27. I never got the chance to tell him I finally got it.